Hello. This is a video on kind of walking you through the course syllabus. I know that most of you have already downloaded the syllabus and read it and have a full understanding of it. So for those of you who have done that, you can step out of this video. But for those of you who haven't and might want to see a walkthrough, I'm going to provide this for you. So let's go ahead and open up the syllabus. And you're going to see that it's pretty standard. There's some course information, there's some instructor information, things to bring to your attention. I do have office hours. You're more than welcome to visit me during my office hours on those days and times. I'm also here every day, for the most part, from 7:30 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And if I'm not in class or not in a meeting, I'm in my office. So please feel free to stop in if you like, or feel free to drop me an email and coordinate a time that will work for you. Course descriptions, course prerequisites, required text. Something to note here is that we use an online text provided by a company called Cengage. Now, we also use a function or a product that that company has that's called MindTap. And MindTap is an online, the fancy term is sandbox, but it's an online application that allows you to go in and kind of practice your C# coding, and the site automatically, the sandbox automatically tests it, and when you have it corrected, you can submit that. So that is something that you need. You'll see that there are two, excuse me, that there are two licenses that you can have. There's a 4-month and a 1 year. If you are taking CIT 110 as a non-developer and you believe that you're not going to want to take CIT 195, which is the sequential course to that, I would suggest take the 4-month. If you are a CIT developer, I would highly suggest that you sign up for the 1 year. That's going to be significantly cheaper, and you'll be able to basically take CIT 110 and CIT 195 underneath that same license. Now, the other thing to point out, if by chance you have already received a Cengage Unlimited, so if you're still currently in a Cengage Unlimited license, whatever that Cengage Unlimited means you have access to all of the courses that are available in Cengage. So if you already do have a license, don't buy another one. Just go in and sign up in your Cengage, log into our course. You'll need a Finch robot. We spend about 6 weeks working with the Finch robot and programming that. You can get that at the bookstore or online. And I think it's about $100 online. Last semester, we started using we started basically taking Finches back used, and so there may be some used Finch robots at the bookstore available. Definitely check that out. You will need to install some software so that you can operate on your home computer. We use extensively a piece of software called Visual Studio 2019 Community Edition. That's completely free, and you can download that. You can download that for either a Windows computer or a Macintosh computer. There is also an available product for Linux box that is called, I believe, Mono Develop. And if you are a Linux person, feel free to get with me and we can kind of talk about that. There are a number of other pieces of software that we'll kind of use throughout the semester, and these are just links to those. You will need to create some accounts, and so you certainly have an NMC email account. We use LinkedIn, GitHub, and then over the course of the semester, you're going to be recording some screens, some screen videos as you demonstrate your software, your applications to me. And so you'll need to have some type of streaming account. So whether that's, I'm sure you're all familiar with YouTube, We oftentimes use Screencast, which is another free service. Both of those services have the ability to record your screen right from the service itself. So right online, there's a button that you can kind of record your screen that makes it very, very simple. It automatically uploads it. And so if you're kind of new to that, I highly recommend those. Some of you may also already be recording on screen videos, and that would for most of you that would be gaming, and there are some products out there, so feel free to use whichever product that you like. Let me see, course materials, I'll keep you posted if there's additional materials. Generally I provide that to you. Course outcomes, these are specifics of the types of outcomes that we're going to be covering. You can take a look at those and read those. And we do have a gen ed outcome. And our gen ed outcome is critical thinking, and that ties in very, very well with being a developer. It's pretty difficult to be a developer, and more specifically to debug a program without using critical thinking. So you'll use a lot of critical thinking skills as you work through the course. Classroom expectations, if you are in a face-to-face classroom, we do a lot of work in our classes and coding together. And so while attendance is not graded, I highly recommend that you show up when you can. And if that's not all the time, I will record videos, and so you can pick those up. You can watch those if you happen to not be able to make it. Students, I do expect that you have some sense of what it is that we're going to kind of be doing that. So, take a moment before you come into class, or even if you're just sitting in class, and get some perspective, get a nice 30,000 foot view of what it is we're going to be doing in that class before it actually happens. And also, when you're in class, my expectation is that you're actively participating. And, I'm totally comfortable if you've got something else to do. I'm totally comfortable with you leaving and walking out of class at any time. Assignments, there are no late assignments in this course. If there is an extenuating circumstance, and that would be something that happens kind of like ahead of time. So if you know that for some reason you're going to be gone, say to your brother's wedding in Seattle, and on that weekend, we have a major project due, please get with me ahead of time, and you and I can make arrangements to have that due, a few days later if that works better for you, and that. Okay. Communications, make sure that you communicate with me regularly. If you have any questions at all, I'm here to make this course accessible to you, and hopefully easier for you to navigate, and I will do anything and everything I can to make that possible. All right, so if you take a look at this just kind of gives you an overview of what the course looks like. We have it divided up into 4 missions. You can see there's some topics there. It's correlated to course outcomes. You'll see that there are assignments, quizzes, and Cengage Mind Tap exercises correlated with each of those missions. One thing to note, that the quizzes and the Cengage Mind Tap exercises can be completed anytime during the semester prior to the Sunday before finals, and the projects all have due dates at the end of the mission. So those projects are the only thing beyond the project debriefing. Those are the only 2 things that actually have due dates, and that you will not be able to turn in late. All right, so I'm going to work my way down here. We've kind of talked about this in the overview, so you've seen a lot of this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time just kind of going through this, but the course it covers textbooks, PowerPoints, video tutorials, and online articles are the ways in which we provide knowledge information to you. Cengage Coding Activities is a way in which we provide you with an opportunity to demonstrate some coding skills that you have, And the mission projects are also great ways for you to, again, demonstrate to us what your coding skills are. We do have certain cooperative type learning activities, and if you're in a face-to-face class, you'll be coding periodically in teams or pairs, and in both face-to-face and online classes, you'll be doing peer reviews. Okay. All right. So I'll show you there actually is a document that you can get as far as the course schedule goes. Class policies, those are the usual ones. This is my big one right here. If you happen to be in a face-to-face class, yeah, I prefer, actually, I explicitly do not want you to have phones out. You are more than welcome to keep that phone on vibrate. And if you have an important call or text coming in, please take that opportunity to just grab your phone and quietly walk out of class, take care of whatever business you need to, and then come back into class. All right, late work policy. Yeah, there are no late work. All right, so scroll down. Grades. This is the one everybody's kind of interested in. And again, this class is developed around a competency-based education or competency-based assessment model. And what that amounts to is that you have, as a student, a number of opportunities throughout the semester to demonstrate your skills and your knowledge. And so the skills, this is again in the Mind Tap. There are a total of 1,000 points for the course. And in the skills, 200 of those points, and you can think of that like 20% of your grade, is going to be in those Mind Tap exercises. Okay, so those are the online sandbox activities. Quizzes, these are Moodle quizzes. Again, that's 200 points and also 20% of your grade. Both the skills and the quizzes can be done anytime across the course of the semester. Okay, so and you can attempt them as many times as you want. But the big caveat there is I repeat, do not wait until the end of the semester. That's 40% of your grade. That is a lot of points to have hanging out there. Peck away at those things. And like I said, as I've said in the past, if for some reason the skill and or the quiz that's correlated with a mission, say mission 1, go in there and take a look at those and try and get those done. If for whatever reason it seems a little more difficult than you think it should be, go ahead and put that off and move on to mission 2 and mission 3, and then periodically go back and revisit those. And what you're going to find is those mission 1 skills are going to feel so easy to accomplish by the time you're in mission 2 and mission 3, and the same thing with mission 2. So feel free to go back. That's the way they're designed for you to be able to go into those anytime during the semester. The required skills are the skills that are part of the mission projects, and those skills can be demonstrated on any mission project. Mission projects will have specific skills associated with them, but there's no reason. The projects are open structure such that you can add to those projects and build out those projects however you want. And so if, say, in mission 2, you were not able to complete one of the skills that was a part of mission 2, when you get to mission 3, just make sure that you knock that out and that you let me know and demonstrate that skill, and we'll give you credit for that. All right. The proposed skills are down here, and what we like to be able to do is to recognize that not everybody just follows the course track. There's a lot of you out there I know who are really interested in any number of other areas of coding in that. And so if you feel like you want to pursue something that you want to be able to add to a project, some enhancement or new feature or something like that, please let me know ahead of time. Propose that to me, and we'll talk about that via email or in class and decide just how many points that'll be worth. So you can kind of think of those like extra credit. Okay, so there's 10 points or 100 points there that you can kind of pick up in extra credit. All right, now how does that translate to a grade? Because at the end, I need to give you a grade. And so given that there is, or I should say that there are 1,000 points, you can see that there's a scale here that at any given point you'll know in the semester you'll kind of know what your grade is once you get to so many points. So feel free to, if you have any questions about that, either now or at the end of the course, to touch base with me. Let's see, incompletes, very rarely do we kind of give out incompletes. Incomplete exists basically for somebody who, for whatever reason, perhaps is kind of up to date, but something happens at the end of the semester or near the end of the semester. They've not completed 20% of the material, and if you get with me, and then we can kind of talk about that. But you guys are all going to get through this. The last thing that I want to make a point of is the academic code of conduct, and it's very important as as developers that you understand what it means to be a developer and how plagiarism or copying comes into play as a developer. And the easiest way to say that is, and we all kind of joke, is as developers we're all plagiarists. We all copy, and that's a reality. And it's one of the beautiful things. I started programming decades ago before the internet, and so it was very difficult to find good reference material and things that other people have done. Now it's extremely easy, and it's one of the reasons why software development has grown so quickly is because people share their code. Now, you are more than welcome to use somebody else's code in one of your assignments, and there's two caveats. One is that whatever that code is doesn't um, address something specifically, an outcome that or a skill that I've specifically asked you to do. So if I've asked you to accomplish a specific skill, what I don't want you to do is to go out and either talk to a peer or go out on the internet and find a way to kind of solve that coding problem using something that is not yours. Okay. But if it's not something that I've specifically asked you to do, you're more than welcome to snag code from a peer, a buddy, the internet, or whatever. The only other caveat is, of the two caveats, the other caveat is that, as always, if you take something from a buddy or from the internet, you need to cite it. So using a comment block, cite any code that you borrowed. And I would encourage you to do that. As developers, you're going to do that all the time, and it's legal. And more importantly, it's just kind of common courtesy if you've borrowed something from somebody to give them credit. So that is the syllabus for the course. And you'll see down here, and there's a link on Moodle to the college syllabus, which has a number of generic elements. All right. Well, if you have any questions, get with me as always. Thanks for listening.